In this video, we'll take a look at a few of the new features introduced in version 2.1 of the AOPA Flight Planner. In addition to a few bug fixes, version 2.1 includes a new chart measuring tool, a new fuel along route overlay, and an enhancement to the existing airports along route overlay. Let's take a look at the chart measuring tool. On the right side toolbar, you'll see a new icon that looks like a small ruler. Click on this icon and your mouse cursor will allow you to measure between any 2 points on the chart. With your mouse, click and hold on the first point where you want to start and drag your mouse to the point where you want to measure. As you're dragging the cursor, you'll notice a pop-up message box that displays distance, time, and fuel usage based on the current position of the cursor. Release the mouse button on the point where you want to measure, and the measuring tool will remain on the screen until you click another spot on the chart. Note that the time and fuel calculations are based on the current selected aircraft or the default aircraft if you don't have a flight plan loaded. It's important to also note that these calculations do not include winds aloft, so they are no-wind figures. Because of this, the measuring tool should be used for rough estimating purposes only. The measuring tool is a persistent tool. This means that once you enable it, the tool will remain active until you deactivate it. This makes it easy to measure multiple distances without having to return to the side toolbar each time. To deactivate the measuring tool, return to the right side menu and click on the measuring tool again, or select the pan tool, which is the default mouse action tool. You can tell which tool is currently selected by looking for the white outline around the tool icon. The next new feature we'll look at is the fuel along route overlay. This new overlay lets us quickly see fuel prices along a route of flight. The prices are color-coded for quick assessment and are organized in a route corridor with a controllable width. Setting the corridor width will display more airports with more fuel prices for consideration. To access this tool, let's first start by loading a stored route. With a stored route loaded, click on the Overlays button, select Airports, then Fuel Along Route and click the Apply button. We now see some fuel prices, a shaded corridor, and a control panel where we can further control this overlay. As we zoom in closer on the chart, we may see more fuel prices that were not visible before. To avoid clutter and overlapping fuel price labels, not all fuel prices may be shown when the chart scale is zoomed out. Setting a closer zoom level will display all fuel prices within the corridor. The default width of the corridor is 10 nautical miles. Using the control panel at the top of the screen, we can adjust the size of the corridor using the corridor width slider control. This will display more airports with fuel prices, although they may be a little further off of our route of flight. The color coding of fuel prices is based on the highest to the lowest reported fuel prices for airports shown within the visible corridor. As you increase or decrease the corridor width, the color coding will likely change since more prices are considered when determining the color code. In addition to setting the width and overall visibility of the corridor, the control panel allows us to either select 100 low lead or Jet A fuel prices. We can also filter the fuel prices to only show those at airports listed as public use. The fuel along route control panel can be minimized to be less obtrusive on the chart, but still remain readily available. To collapse the control panel, simply click the chevron button in the upper right corner of the control panel. Click the button again to expand the control panel for use. The fuel along route control panel will remain on the screen as long as the fuel along route overlay is active. To turn off the fuel along route overlay, go back to the overlay menu and uncheck the fuel along route option. Another small enhancement we made to version 2.1 is to the airports along route overlay. Similar to the fuel along route overlay, the airports along route now has its own control panel that allows the corridor width to be adjusted. To enable the airports along route overlay, click on the Overlays button, select Airports, then Airports along route, and click the Apply button. We now see icons for airports along our route, a shaded corridor, and a control panel where we can further control this overlay. There are 2 different icons used based on whether or not there is fuel available at the airport. The control panel allows us to adjust the size of the corridor. Simply move the corridor width slider to increase or decrease the width of the corridor. The same public use only checkbox is also available on this control panel. Check this box to only show airports that are public use. We hope you'll find these new features helpful when planning flights. Look for more enhancements in the future as we continue to improve the AOPA Flight Planner. Thanks for watching.